Wheeler III, longest founding president of the ONYXCON Foundation. Yes, indeed. Hey, happy Thankful Day. How about that? We're going to call it that. We're going to call it that. We're going to start it off just like that because I know some people don't even like to hear the word Thanksgiving because of the, you know, history of it and how it came about and how that can be pretty whack if you know what really happened and what got us to this being. Hold on one second. What is going on with my thing? But oh boy, I'm gonna have to take it off of this gimbal. It's acting up. I think it's because. Oh wait a minute. There we go. Hold on. What's it trying to do? No, that ain't it either. Man, I can't even do my name monologue to start this thing off because it's acting up, y'all. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me right now? Woo! Hold on. What is it doing? Man, we just gonna go old school. We just gonna go old school. Can't be playing with this thing all day. Sometimes when the technology act up, you gotta keep it moving. That's kind of what the topic is about today. To say, keep it moving. I've seen a lot recently about, and I've been seeing it for so long, for years, when certain holidays come around. And some folks are happy and they just say, oh, happy whatever, happy what. Fine. If that works for you, that works for you. Some other people say, I don't celebrate that, but, good for you. Like, everybody staying out of everybody's way kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all got a right to be however we want to be, celebrate what we want to celebrate. But I am one who believes also that you should know some history so that when you hear the people who say, well, I'm not with that, I don't mess with that, you'll understand why. Like I saw something just today with a Native American brother breaking down in his video one of the many, and I mean many, horrid events that happened in the 1600s, 15th century, at the beginning of all of what became the colony and the colonization and the imperialization of most of the world, but especially in this hemisphere. And I'll just say specifically him talking about this hemisphere, because that was a widespread campaign that did what it did, and it still remains having its effects. So, when you hear him, the breakdowns he was giving of actual events that happened, how people were slaughtered, how people were abused and completely disrespected and things of that nature, you can't hear that, know it's true, and just, pretend that don't matter. It should forever be something you acknowledge, the same way we do other memorials. I think, today in many ways, I'm not trying to dampen the mood. I just think you should take a moment to think too. It's also like, and this could be said of any day. Let's just be real. That could be said of any day. Any day you can remember those who are not with us, those who are with us, those who you wish were with us. And that's kind of the energy I bring to it, and try not to get so caught up in the emotional burden or feeling like you need to showcase a certain type of emotion about knowing the history. And I noticed for that reason, that's why some people, they try to stay ignorant. They try to stay blissfully ignorant, because if they don't know, they don't have to feel like they have to react. It's like, man, I don't even deal with all that history stuff. I just, it's like, they're making history, and even that could be messed up with how they're doing that. But they just don't want to deal with the mistakes of others, the mistakes of themselves, they don't want to deal with it. I don't believe in, putting your head in the sand, as they say the ostrich will do. Don't do that either. Just face it all and then compartmentalize it so you can take care of your mental health and understand that life does definitely still go on. And you keep it in your mind so that it doesn't repeat itself. And that's with everything that's been traumatic in our lives. Or information that we didn't live, but we find out about the history. It's to, it's a warning. That's what it really is. That's why history is so important. It's a warning. It's just a way of knowing we're not going to repeat this. We've been through this. We know how bad it is and how we're still, STILL, still trying to resolve, may never fully resolve the results of these acts. But if we know how it happened, we don't let worse acts take place. We don't let the same acts take place again and set us back even further as a living species of humanity. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the way I go about it. And, most importantly, all in my life, thank goodness I've always had real family. I'm blessed to know I have real family and people who truly love me. You know what I'm saying? I'm truly blessed, universe blessed, to have a mother and a father that's still alive, that are together, 50 plus years of marriage. You know, I'm blessed to have a sibling, to be an uncle. I'm blessed. So I'm blessed. I'm not religious, but I say universe, and I mean that. Every single word, the uni to the verse, one is all. That's what it means. Look it up. Etymology. You know. So whatever's positive, whatever's functional over dysfunctional is a part of my life, and everything else kicks the curb. Kick it to the curb. That ain't got nothing to do with me. If it ain't, that's why I always tell y'all I don't live by that phrase. Folk be saying, I'm a hip hopper, definitely, but I'm not gonna claim everything that people will say is hip hop, because I'm not gonna let nobody deny me my place in it as much as I put into it, and I was born into it and love it for many different reasons on many levels. But I'm also not going to play and pretend that I participated in everything that everybody that ever was a part of it did or does. It's like, no, it's like 200 people are going and getting smoked out and drinking and whatever. I don't do none of that. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't whatever, you know what I'm saying? I never forget seeing the OG of OGs, Ice-T in an interview on Drink Champ say, I don't drink or smoke. And everybody at the table was so shocked. Honestly, I was shocked. I thought he would at least, I knew he didn't smoke, but I figured he might drink. He said, I don't do none of that. He's like, I was always that kind of guy. I said, that's one more reason why that's my dude, man. I'm a big fan of Ice-T. Always was a fan. But it's like being real like that, man. Being in yourself, like, yeah, this applies, but the rest of that, y'all keep it. Can be in the room with some folk that's on some of the stuff you about, and when they start doing the other stuff, you out. It's like, okay, it's time for me to go. Y'all keep doing you if that makes you happy, but I'm out, So yeah, man. It's ethics, it's boundaries, it's all those things. And I feel like with holidays, it's like that too. These days of the year for some people be dreaded, man, because you like, who gonna be at the table this year? Who's that person I don't want to see that's gonna be there because everybody else want to see them, or somebody that got more power in the family to invite them gonna have them there or whatever. It'd be that kind of stuff, man. It'd be messing families up. And you gotta set boundaries with that too. You gotta set parameters. You gotta mean it. You gotta not waver on that when you see that something's threatening the livelihood of your family traditions and your family unit. You don't let no one person, no couple of people, or even somebody who might be a major part of something destroy the whole. You got to find a way to, even if it's just setting the boundary of, well, y'all won't see me until you understand how important it is to get rid of those bad habits, those bad things that tear things apart. So, I know I'm speaking to a lot of different things right now on purpose, hitting a lot of notes for things that I feel, I have a side of me that is empathetic. I have empathy, and I can be a bit clairvoyant, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's a lot of people who might need this. A lot of people, now that I got 2,000 folks following, subscribe, I know there's somebody who is relating to some of what I just said. And you just know, if you doing right, and when I say right, I mean functional. It really ain't about right and wrong. But if you hear me say right, what I really mean is functional. You can't be telling nobody, hey man, make sure you take care of your teeth. You ain't got no teeth in your head and you eating a damn candy bar while you telling me it. You can't tell me nothing about that. If you're trying to be the bad example of don't be like me, well, okay, maybe, but no, not really, because most of them don't say that when they do. They don't even think that they're the problem. Oh my gosh. So yeah, man, you got a right to not eat that thing that you said you were gonna stop eating this year. When you get around that table and everybody's pressuring you and asking, oh, you don't eat that? No. Oh, somebody done got different on us. You damn right I'm different. You ought to be different. Shit, leave me alone. I'm doing me, you do you. Be just like that, And like I say, you ain't got to get ugly. You ain't got to get crazy. I know how it's different in everybody's families and friends. But, if people just really are on that level, make them miss you. Make them really understand. I'm not playing. Like, I'm going to change. I'm not going to drink that. I'm not going to eat that. I went through the pain at the doctor. I went through the pain of getting the result that I couldn't afford when the bill came on top of the stress of knowing I got this deal to this thing and I got to change my diet. If I don't, then I'll be right back here with another hospitalization, another bill, and another. And then, somebody say, oh man, you do all that, you still end up, well, I tell you what, hopefully it won't be for the same reason, and more than likely it won't ever be again if you're doing what you ought to be doing. And you got to study yourself, you got to analyze yourself, you got to care enough about your body to do that. Everything I'm saying today is ONYXCON fitness, y'all, which is mind, body, and soul. We talking everything. We talking how you thinking. We talking about how you eating, you drinking, everything. Mind, body, and soul. Not just workout, but how you thinking, what you eating, how you moving. Are you moving? Can you move? That's another thing some people can't, and I understand that. They're sick and shut in for real. That's not just a phrase people use in the church. We're going to pray for the sick and shut in. No, that's real. There's plenty of people are actually sick and shut in. Immobile, gotta need help, gotta have assistance. I used to work with senior citizens that had Alzheimer's and handicaps. For years I did that, so I know what that is. And I'm just saying, universe bless all of y'all. And I hope that you find a way to somehow stay active, even if you're doing chair exercise. I'm not no pun in what I just said. I'm telling you, I used to do it with the seniors. We do the chair exercises, man. And a lot of them got better because of just that little bit that they weren't doing it all, sitting at home just watching the TV all day. This is that time of year where people start making the resolutions and everything. Well, you're not going to stick to none of that if you don't start the habit, if you don't create the habit. Habits, you're going to start and then you're going to want to stop, but you're going to push yourself through it. And once you get over that mountaintop of that resistance of yourself, before you know it, it becomes routine by nature. You won't even feel right if you don't do it. Like what I'm about to do right now, and we're gonna end this on a real powerful note. I already did me a few sets of push-ups today. I always try to do push-ups every day. At one time I used to do them like every other day. One time before that I'd get maybe 2 or 3 times a week. The other time I only get down the ground maybe once a week. And it was usually on the weekend. My excuse was, man, I'm working too hard in the week. I ain't worrying about that. I do enough other stuff. No, it ain't about that. It's because every time I would come back to it from doing it that way, I'd be weak. It's like I had to rebuild all the strength I had. I could have been doing sets of 20, adding up to 60 or 100 or whatever. And then I get down and I'm struggling to do the last of the 20 or a couple of sets of 20. And I'm like, why am I so weak? Because it's not a routine. And everybody's body's different, but I just know what it had to be for me. And I said, nah, I don't like that. I want to be that guy all the time. I don't want to be able to be like, no, I know I can get it. If I need to get it, I can get it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're going to do, y'all. That's what we're going to do out here. So where'd I put my gloves? I like to have my gloves. That's the other thing, yo. Get you some, if you doing stuff where like, yeah, I don't mind getting on the ground, but when I'm outside, I like to have something because my hand, you be in the rocks dig up in your hand. But don't listen to nobody else say, oh, you a man. So what? I done all the bare hand stuff too. And then I just got to a point where sometimes I still get down on bare hand. But today it's cold out here. And in addition to the cold, I actually get more power, which is why I notice a lot of guys who do calisthenics, they use gloves on everything they do because it gives you better grip, more control. And all that does is just help your rep be more solid with whatever you do. I'm gonna do a couple of inclines. I'd already done a set of 15. Let's get some more. Yeah, make it 23 right now. Because I'm the third and I got 2,000 subscribers. So add another 0 for yourselves. Add the mother 0, excuse me. 20, put the mother zeros on it for 2,000, y'all. We made it. We're going to keep making it. As I can say, every year is our year. But when I say this year is our year, I mean it because it's special. 2026. 2026, y'all. ONYXCON. Full monetization. Monetization Nation. ONYXCON worldwide. More travel, more opportunities, covering more events, interviewing more people, touching more lives, more people getting what it's all about and appreciating it. Oh, by the way, let me shout out all my people who understand the value of gun safety and gun control and things of those nature. As I've started to share that part of my journey with y'all, it ain't nothing new to me. I grew up hunting and fishing. But I recently posted probably my first ever video about that, adding that to the outdoor recreation. Hell, add that to the fitness, because you have to focus. You have to really understand when you get into weapons and weapon culture and all that. There's a fun side of it. There's a glamorized, glitzy talk stuff and all that old stuff. You know, there's all that, which is how a lot of people only do it, but that's not all you're gonna get. As I always tell y'all, edutainment. We're gonna educate you, we're gonna entertain you. I did a review recently of an auto shotgun. A lot of y'all responded to that really nicely. I got hundreds on that video real quick. Says a lot, because most of my audience is in America, and they say there's more guns in America than there are people, which can be a very, very dangerous thing. But on the recreational, responsible side of it, it's a very positive, very can be fun activity, hobby. It can definitely be financially lucrative if somebody's into it from that angle. I'm just a total, I'd say I'm a total casual hobbyistic. I appreciate the style, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate the look of a lot of weapons. And I wouldn't call myself a collector by no means, because they cost too damn much. But I have access to some collections, and I've always had some basic skills, and I want to retrain myself, get more in that rhythm again. Because when I shot recently, it had been a while, and I was like, okay, not bad for somebody who ain't doing it pretty much at all on the regular, but is no stranger to it. Okay, I'm about to get back in the groove, man. I'm gonna get back in the groove. So yeah, shout out to all my folks who do it responsibly, all my legal gun owners, you know what I'm saying, legal carry folk, everybody who's living that life, and especially those who don't have no effed up politics that they put behind everything that they holding a weapon for. You know what I'm saying? If you truly, truly respect all humanity, you know, you respect people's rights to live on this earth. You know, I ain't talking about no government territories and a bunch of messed up, corrupt stuff from the minute it was made under colonizations and everything. No. We ain't backing none of that. I speak on it all the time. We don't hold our tongue around here. We say what we mean. We let you know what side of the world we standing on and where we at with ours. We don't support no maggot BS. We don't support no, you know what I'm saying? We melt some ice, you know what I mean? We're not with none of that. We're not with none of that, man. We're about people, loving on people, respecting people, having general, basic civil right boundaries to how we all move, and understanding that we all need each other. Because the minute you think you don't, there'll be something missing on your, if it's, for some people you can only explain it like this because they can't respect the person, the people. You gotta tell them, there will be the day you're gonna wake up and something that you ate for years at that Thanksgiving dinner won't be on the table. Because you disrespected a whole country and a whole culture of people. And the whole world was watching. And even people right here, they got their own set of values, are not with that BS. Universe blessed to us all who live in the real life. Peace and blessings, y'all. Happy Thankful Day. Happy Turkey Day. Because I love me some turkey. I'm about to go get mine.